You know, one of the best things that I gained on the road to becoming a successful entrepreneur is the dissipation of delusion. You know, we all have ideas in our minds of the way we think things should work, and then we have the absolute truth of how things actually work. Most people starting out in business are not very logical. You know, you want to go with your passion, you want to build a business based off your passion, when actually the better way to make money is to do things that fill gaps in the economy. The unveiling of logic that happens when you go from 0 to 100 million or 0 to 1 billion is like you think more clearly. And my best mindset that I gained from the dissipation of sort of like the flaws in the logic that I had are no longer there. I can't even talk about it in a video because people aren't ready to hear it, you know. But you find a lot of crazy shit when you follow the path of success. You realize how stupid you used to be more and more every single day. So before you start a business, put some serious thought into it of like, is this really what's gonna, because a business at the end of the day is still a job. It's basically a job. With you as the owner or CEO, but this is just what we do to make money. You see, you could follow your passions or you could follow the money. Well, I follow the money. My passion is making money. That's where I find my gratification, is in making the money. I have many passions, you know, but I find the most satisfaction that when I put in my 12 hours a day working on my business, and then I get to spend the rest of my day doing whatever the fuck I want. That's the difference maker right there. Is like, what are you willing to give up in order to achieve success at massive levels, at wild levels, you know? So pretty much, you know, that's one of the best things that I gained, is the dissipation of delusion, of how things, we all have this idea in our mind of how things should work. Oh, it should be like this. But 90% of the time, the reality is vastly different than your opinion when you're first starting out in business. See, me, I like to go for the big ideas straight out of the gate. I'm not going to wait 25 years to build my big project. I'll just figure out how to make it work in 5 years, rather than waiting for the perfect moment. I go for the big pie straight out of the gate, you know. And that's one of the best things that I learned, is the dissipation of logic. Your logic going into it is like, we associate big rewards with big work inputs. We think that if the result is very great, then the journey must be very long and treacherous. Actually, you know, you could half the time it takes to become a billionaire by simply going for the big ideas straight out of the gate.